Right here. So here we are back at the desk, and so this is Matt's office. So Talent Seeker, that's your company, Matt. It's your shop, as it were. So for those of us who don't know, what does a recruitment consultant or recruitment agent do?
Okay, so I suppose essentially we help people get jobs in its kind of most simplest form, and we help companies secure staff, find staff. So I think, what's key to the role of a recruitment consultant is the fact that we're working on both behalf of our candidates to sort of help them get the job of their dreams, but we're also helping clients find the best talent that they can get, and probably talent that they probably wouldn't be able to find themselves. Okay,
brilliant. And to do your job, what skills do you think you need to have? I'm not interviewing you for your own job, because you obviously do it pretty well. So, but what sort of skills do you need to work in recruitment? Because some people might be interested in working in recruitment one day, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great career, actually, if you're a people person. I think most people get into recruitment because they generally like people, and they like helping people get jobs, and they like working with multiple different companies. It's a really good career. I think the skills that you need is probably the number one skill is probably resilience, because there's a lot of downs in recruitment. There's lots of ups, but there's lots of downs. It's a bit of a roller coaster kind of ride, and I think that's probably why a lot of people love it, but also a lot of people hate it. It's one of those, a bit like Marmite. But definitely resilience. I think a positive attitude is really key. It is about, if you get that phone call or you get that email where a placement falls through, or something hasn't come off as you imagined, it's literally dusting yourself down, going again, being really positive, because actually the next call you get might be a new client, or you might speak to a brilliant candidate. So you've got to be quite level, you've got to be quite consistent and quite level-headed. I think that's one of the big things that I've learned, is not to kind of get too high on the highs and not to get too low on the lows.
Yeah.
But I think for young people thinking about getting into recruitment, it's the relationship skills, how to build rapport, listening skills, don't do too much talking, do lots of listening, because ultimately we're trying to fact find. We're trying to fact find from our candidates as to what skills they've got and what things that are maybe not coming across on their CVs, so helping them in that respect. From a client side of things, it's kind of really understanding the DNA of that business. So not just what's on their website, but what's it really like to work there, what are the people like, what's the culture like, and sort of going into things in a bit more depth to then kind of give yourself the tools that you need to go and help them find the right people.
And how did you get into it? Have you always been a recruiter, or did it kind of...
It's a very long story. So
okay. All right. Sure. Or how might I get into it? If I wanted to get into recruitment, how would I go about doing that?
I think you'd probably get a role as a trainee resourcer. So basically sort of supporting somebody like me who's doing the actual recruitment and managing the process and the relationships. So a trainee resourcer could come in and I would train them on, say, how to write a job advert, how to go and find people on LinkedIn, how to use CV databases, how to use our own CV database, how to write adverts on social media, where to advertise depending on the role, how to get them to think about the content that they're writing and what sort of content works for different types of jobs and different types of sectors. And ultimately learning to get a really good job brief from the company, and then thinking about and learning the first steps in how you would go about trying to find those people.
Fab. Sounds like a great industry to work in.
It is sometimes.
All right.
Most of the time.
Matt, really appreciate your time. Thanks very much. And people know where to find you, I'm sure. Even if there's any mums and dads out there looking to appoint people, or even looking for their own jobs, they're only up the road, just over the field from Burgate. There we go.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers.
Bye.